Typically, as part of the design process, we have a pre-design phase, which includes research gathering, understanding the client, and then once we sign a contract, we move into schematic design. Schematic design includes a couple things. One we call programming. Programming is understanding what rooms, what spaces, how you want to use the place. And so understanding how the home or the cottage or boathouse, whatever it is, works. And so that's what programming is. The second part of schematic design is site. And so we'll have another video talking a little bit about our process with site. But site is incredibly important because we want every project to be unique. We want every project to be site specific. The second part of our process is design development. In schematic design, we'll prepare sketches, we'll do a rough idea of what we think is a good move. We meet with our clients, we talk to them about the design, and we start to formulate a direction. Once we get to design development, it's really about the refining of the design. We want to understand the details, start to understand structure, start to understand light and how all those elements work together. We work through materials and we start to render the project. And really design development is where we cap and really round off the whole idea of your build, of your cottage, of your boathouse, your sports building, whatever it is. Design development is where we really finalize those thoughts. Once we finalize those thoughts, we move into engineering and construction documentation. And so this is where we prepare the documents necessary to build the building as well as permit. And building the building is something that's incredibly important to us because we can design cool stuff all day long, but if it can't be built, what use is that? And so we like to work very closely with our engineers, very closely with our contractors to understand how things are put together. And really we want to make sure we're designing a building that works really well with the client. It has a beautiful concept and touches those elements really nicely. But on the building side, we want to mash that together. We want to make sure HVAC is hidden, plumbing is hidden. We really want to make the actual bones of the building either be expressed in the case of this building, or we want to hide them intentionally so that we're not seeing things we don't want to see. The last part of the project is the construction phase. And so once we have all of our permits, depending on if there's zoning permits we need to get and building permits, we start to build. And we like to be a part of that process. Depending on the contractor, depending on the client, we're more or less involved, and we can do as simple as asking and answering questions during the build, or as more as really being that other set of eyes for the client and making sure that their design is being executed the way that we envision together. And I want to emphasize together, because I think this is really a journey, and I think it's a journey between us, the client, and the contractor. We want that symbiotic relationship to take us through all the way to the very end of the project.